From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
Monday, March 8th, 2021. It's the top of the second hour on Mornings Lalate. Exciting news across the land. Democrats are already making demands for a fourth stimulus package with reoccurring stimulus checks. Your $1,400 third stimulus check bill passed the Senate on Saturday. It will be passed by the House on Tuesday, tomorrow, and the president will sign it into law Tuesday as well. But what about fourth stimulus? The excitement's already unfolding. Even before the president signs a third stimulus package into law on Tuesday, with your stimulus checks going out later this week, Democrats are already strongholding a demand for reoccurring stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package. They're also pushing for FPUC retro. And also, a new wealth tax has been introduced to the Senate by Elizabeth Warren. That wealth tax sets up a path to get your funding for $200 a month on top of SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. How will it work? From across the land, from your home to my home, the excitement starts as the second hour of Morning to LA gets underway right now. Wall Street is euphoric. Between the time from the last recording to this one, the Dow has surged. I went live with you about an hour ago, and at that time, the Dow was up a couple hundred points. It's now up to almost 600, 700 points. Wall Street is exuberant about the passage of the $14 third stimulus check bill in the Senate. It goes to the House on Tuesday and will pass the House on Tuesday and then sign a law on Tuesday. The president will make it law Tuesday, and then your stimulus checks go out later this week. Done. But even with that excitement, Wall Street is euphoric about what's unfolding for this stimulus. Bond yields were slightly up this morning, but now there's other excitement as well. Fourth stimulus is around the corner with SSI and SSDI heating up. The Federal Reserve wants more stimulus as long as the end of this year unfolds. And now Democrats are demanding reoccurring stimulus checks and FPUC retros more. I have all those details starting right now. How are you? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I am so excited for you. You are getting a $1,400 third stimulus check. Congratulations. You are getting it. Viewers will start to get it later this week. Done. Done. Later this week. The $14 stimulus check, third stimulus package will be signed into law tomorrow. Done. The checks go out starting the end of this week. Congratulations. If you have not hit the subscribe button, today is the day to do it. I'm going to tell you right now. Why? Because there's a series of strange things that are in the third stimulus package that literally make a difference of not a few $100s, but tens of thousands of dollars for you. And you need to not miss a recording from this channel because these things will be there and gone. It will cost you $5,000 to $10,000, some of these items. Among them was the revelation revealed earlier today. For example, the Senate version of the bill has now a provision in there that says if the federal government does cancel out $50,000 of student loan debt, you would normally be required to pay the forgiveness of that debt to the IRS in taxes. At a 24% tax bracket, you would have to pay. Are you ready for this? If the federal government forgave $50,000 of student loan debt in another bill, you'd have to pay $11,000 in taxes immediately the next calendar year to the IRS. Not a good situation. Well, the bill I revealed this morning cancels that out. You don't have to pay the $11,000 to the IRS. That's something you need to know. This is not a few pennies. This is not a few pennies in the fountain. This is $11,000. Number two, the bill on Saturday changed a provision that allowed the following. The first $10,200 of your total unemployment payments from your state unemployment department, UI, PUA, FPUC, all of it. Thank you, King Reno, for the massive dancing pair. Your first $10,200 of 2021 is totally now tax-free. This is huge for a series of many reasons. One, if you, when you get your benefits in 2020, had taxes taken out by your state at whatever, and they usually started at the 10% tax bracket, and they took it out every week and took it out every week and took it out every week, then you didn't have to pay for it again. Well, guess what? You got to get that money back now. Yeah, you got to get that money back now. That's your money. Thank you, Alicia, for the super chat. Wow, this room is on fire. Alicia for the super chat. That's a big one. And there is Tara. Thank you, Tara, for coming to Purple Hawk and King Reno. Everyone welcome Tara to the family. Can you imagine $10,200 of your first unemployment benefits of 2020 are now tax-free? So you're going to have to do amended return. If you filed your tax return already for last year, you're going to have to do amended return. It's $10,000. It's not a few pennies in the fountain. Danielle, thank you for Danielle for becoming a Purple Hawk. Was it Danielle? Danielle. Danielle Smith. Everyone welcome Danielle Smith becoming a Purple Hawk. That's a second example. The next example is tomorrow's Tuesday. Guess what? The bill says that within a certain number of days, I believe it's 14 days, the SBA must open the EIDL grant and open it up, meaning within 14 days, open it up. And then over the next 14 days thereafter, accept the applications. Guess what? Thank you, Nancy, for the massive super chat. Guess what? If they open the EIDL tomorrow, the money's going to be gone in 3 days. There is no time for you to find out from your neighbor, brother's, uncle, sister's former boyfriend that it went live 3 weeks ago, because the money won't be there. It'll be gone. It'll go open, and then it'll stay open, and you'll apply, and they'll say, thank you, we have no money for you. What do you mean you have no money for you? I mean, they just passed a bill. There's money for me. No, it'll literally be there and gone. So you need to hit that subscribe button right now. You can't miss this money. Nancy, let's cut over to SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, the reoccurring stimulus checks, and the FPUC retro. What's going on? The bill that passed the Senate Saturday is third stimulus. The bill that is next, already written but not shown yet to us, is fourth stimulus. It was supposed to be for July when this country reopens. Well, the country's reopening in May, 2 months earlier, because of mass vaccination numbers being able to be reached because of a Johnson & Johnson Merck deal. So the whole country will reopen by May. Guess what? The fourth stimulus package is the reopening stimulus package. It needs to be ready to come to your pockets by May. That means they got to start the bill now. And they're going to do it by reconciliation. All these bills the president's going to do by reconciliation because he has no Republican supporters. He can do as many reconciliation bills as he wants in the year 2021. That anticipation of that bill prompted 11 Democrats, and while Bernie Sanders is a progressive and he caucuses with the Democrats as independent, the 11 senators were moderates. They said, you know what, we're giving you a vote for the third stimulus package, but when you bring us the fourth stimulus package, we are demanding reoccurring stimulus checks, a stimulus check every month until the pandemic's over. This is important for a lot of reasons. If you watch the show that started Mornings LA today, the first Mornings LA show, I showed you a JP Morgan report out today that says they think that unemployment numbers will be back to normal by the end of this year, not next year. Well, you got to get these multiple stimulus checks right now. Because as soon as you see unemployment numbers back to normal, they ain't going to give you reoccurring stimulus checks for anything. They're going to say you're back to normal. Remember, once labor numbers are back to normal, everything is going to change. So you got to push purple power behind these senators. Reoccurring stimulus checks every month until the pandemic's over in this fourth stimulus package. That's number one. Number two, Ron Wyden, Democrat senator, said that he would support FPUC retro, which is still unpaid from July to December of 2020. It's 20 weeks at $600 a week. It's $12,000. He would support it if you can get other Democrats behind it. Number three, the huge, incredible, great news from Elizabeth Warren that started last Monday. But first, let me see who's in the room. There's King Reno, and there's Kathy, and there's Helen, and there's Sandra, and there's Bethany, and Biz, thank you for the super chat. And there's Joshua, and there is Robert, and there's Angel, and Gunnar, and Will, and Crystal, and Mia. I need that business grant. I'm all ears. Mia, I tune in to the business lunch show, which is at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or on the East Coast, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all about business grants. It's a hit show because people want this business grants, and boy, there's a lot of them. There is beautiful 1974, and there's Tamika and Dory and Alicia and Sherry and Ashley and Joshua. And then Carrie and Gary Hughes. And there's Debbie and Charles Sullivan from Pennsylvania. How are you? And there's Jamie from, and there's Veronica Brown and Sissy Huig. And there's Susan Halfin as well. How are you? The excitement started last Monday, a week ago today, when Elizabeth Warren introduced to the Senate a standalone bill. The standalone bill would generate $2.75 trillion for the U.S. economy by doing a wealth tax. That wealth tax would be calculated the following way. It would tax people whose net worth is over $50 million, 2% per year, and people whose net worth is over $1 billion, an additional 1% per year. It would generate $2.75 trillion over 10 years. With that money, it would pay for the $200 a month SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. How does this work? While campaigning across this country for president a year ago this month, she introduced what everyone now knows as that $200 a month for SSI and SSDI. One of the viewers jumped into the video right before this and said, under the third stimulus, are we getting $200 a month? No, it's not in there. But don't fret, because there's 4 ways for it to now happen. While campaigning for president, she came up with the idea of $200 a month, plus a 20% increase, plus a new benchmark, CPIE, not COLA. Thank you, Melissa Coleman, for the dancing bear. When she was asked when running for president how she would come up with the money, she said, give me time, I'll explain to you how I'm going to do it. I will explain to you how I'm going to fund it. Then she came up with another program. They said, how are you going to come up with that money? She said, give me time, I'll tell you how I'm going to do it. And finally, she said how she's going to do it. A wealth tax bill. Finally, she introduced the exciting news. She said a wealth tax bill would pay for the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. That's how I'll pay for it. And guess what happened last Monday? She introduced the bill. Now, if you have been with me since last week, you now know there's not one, but 4 ways to get SSI and SSDI $200 a month. There is, first, a senatorial bill, standalone, that would work. You now have the Senate bill to fund it, the wealth tax bill. You would need Elizabeth Warren to reintroduce her bill for $200 a month for 12 months, which she introduced the Senate a year ago this month. Or you would do option number two. Option number 2 is the moderate Democrat approach, which is to strong arm. To say, when you give us, Mr. President, the 4th stimulus package, we're going to demand reoccurring stimulus checks, we're going to demand FPUC retro, and we're going to demand SSI and SSDI. Or the last option, option number 3, is the most beloved option by viewers of the channel, and the option I believe works, executive order. An executive order, you don't need this by bill. You could do it by executive order. Why? Because the president on day one, January 20th, when he came into the office on January 20th, first day of his administration, he increased SNAP for 6 months. He could increase your SSI for 6 months, for 12 months if he increased SNAP for 6 months. He also told Department of Agriculture, I'm going to change eligibility and criterion and how we do it. Well, he can tell the benefits department to tie it to CPIE, not COLA. You don't need a bill for that. That's just sort of wasting everyone's time. This is very, very straightforward. The exciting great news is that suddenly Democrats are seeing that strongholding, pushing for stuff under forced stimulus is the way to go. Remember, the president has to do another stimulus package, at least one. I think he has to do two, but at least one. And that stimulus package has to be done by May, meaning he has to start it now because his reconciliation is going to take 2 months. Number three, all those Democrats who didn't get certain things the last time around are standing firm and saying, you know what? This time around, you're going to give us what we want. We gave you what you want, Mr. President. This time, you give me what I want. Thank you, Angela, for the super chat. And this is where things need to go. Shirley says, I agree with executive orders, especially with that senator who's a troublemaker. I agree, Shirley Peer. There's Rocky. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. No worry, Rocky. Thank you for joining us. And there's Crystal, and there's W. Barden. Really exciting news. And Kathy, if you're just joining me, your $14 third stimulus check bill passed the Senate on Saturday. It's back to the House. It'll pass the House on Tuesday, and then it's off to the president to sign into law on Tuesday. Really exciting, great news. I'll have more about what's going to happen on Tuesday and your stimulus checks coming up right after this break. But here's a little bit about the community page. Be back with you in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late.
From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LA Late.
It's a big day as Wall Street is trading up substantially. The Dow is up almost 600 points. It made a complete reversal. It was up slightly when I went live about an hour ago when Mornings LA kicked into gear. But now it's going up higher. NASDAQ was positive and has turned for the negative. All this trading up is because of excitement, euphoria, over the passage of your third stimulus check bill in the Senate. The bill goes back to the House. On Tuesday, tomorrow, the House will approve it. On Tuesday evening, the president will sign it into law. And then stimulus checks will start landing people's bank accounts as early as the end of this week. That's where we are. But fourth stimulus is just around the corner. Fourth stimulus is the next stimulus package. A deal brokered by the President of the United States last week between Merck and Johnson & Johnson provided that Merck would manufacture Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine. That single-dose vaccine cuts off 28 days because it's only one dose. And because of that, the president was able to get a new benchmark for reopening this country in May, not July. What does this mean for stimulus? This means that America is now anticipating a fourth stimulus package coming in May, not July. It's called the Reopening Stimulus or the Recovery Act. The Recovery Act has actually been written. It just hasn't been revealed to us. What would be in the Recovery Act? Multiple stimulus checks is the push. Multiple stimulus checks are in the push. And what else is happening today? Let me tell you right now. Thank you for joining me. It's Mornings Lalate. It's a second hour of Mornings Lalate. If you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button right now. I want you to know absolutely everything you need to know across the board. If you have not become a member, consider becoming a member. The bill that you have as a member from the House is nearly exactly the same bill that becomes law. The only two provisions that are changed are the unemployment twist and the phase out of the stimulus check on the high end. What's happening? Individual gets, let me give you a very quick 3-minute rundown of what's in the third stimulus package before we cut back to the other breaking news. $14 stimulus check for individuals, adults, children, and more. Number one. Number two, $3,600 for children 5 to newborn, plus a $14 stimulus check. 17 to 6, $3,000 plus a $14 stimulus check. Both of those are paying in the month of July at a prorated portion. $1,700 of student financial aid plus a $14 stimulus check. $1,502 of hazard pay plus a $14 stimulus check. Then there is a new EIDL grant that opens and closes faster than you can blink your eyes, $5,000 exactly if you have less than 10 employees and had a decrease of your income during the pandemic. There's a restaurant grant as well based upon your 2020 revenue, gross revenue, subtracted from your 2019 gross revenue, and it pays for a lot of other items. There's money for homeowners rent, utilities, food, mortgage assistance, and the mortgage assistance actually includes money for other items around the home. That's a big surprise. The other surprises happening across the board are the following. One, $10,200 of your unemployment benefits in the year 2020, the first $10,200 are now tax-free. Yes, that's 2020. All of your total unemployment benefits from the year 2020, the first $10,200 are now tax-free. If you filed your tax return, you're going to have to do amended return. Number two, there is a incredible provision that provides that if the federal government does forgive college debt, then the IRS will also forgive the tax implication of it. Why is this very important? Because if the federal government forgave $50,000 of your student loan debt today, by executive order, for example, and you are at a 24% tax bracket, you would owe the IRS $11,000. That's the way the tax code works. The bill that passed the Senate on Saturday takes that out, so you won't have to pay taxes if the federal government forgives your student loan debt. Remember, student loan debt forgiveness is a standalone bill in the Senate. It has not yet passed, but now if it does pass, you won't have to pay $11,000 at a 24% tax bracket. Let me make it even clearer. If you're at a 45% tax bracket, goodness, you're going to pay $25,000 in taxes on this. Not a good situation. It's just not a good situation. So suddenly you see why everything is changing so quickly and so fast across the board. Now, when we look at fourth stimulus, what's happening, thank you, King Rio, for the massive super chat. What's happening, and thank you, Joanna, for upgrading to purple power. What is happening for fourth stimulus is very exciting. Fourth stimulus is now getting a stronghold or a strong arm from Democrats who say, you know what? When you come back to us for that vote, we will not provide you a support unless you do monthly stimulus reoccurring checks. People have asked in some of the comments, I think at the commercial break, they said, how much is it? They wouldn't tell us. They didn't say it in the letter. Presumably it's more than $1,400. It may be $2,000. It's not $600. That's number one. Number two, Ron Wyden said he would support a push to pay that unpaid FPUC from July to December of 2020, which is $12,000, if you get him Democratic senators to support the movement. Purple power, do your thing. Finally, the exciting great news detailed in this recording especially is the SSI SSDI. For the first time ever, we have a actual mechanism to pay for the $200 a month of SSI and SSDI. It's a wealth tax bill that would generate $2.75 trillion. Now, you don't necessarily need a bill to pay for it, but if you do have a bill to pay for it, it makes it so much easier. Ultimately, the president can do it by executive order. The president has done executive orders for similar programs like SNAP, increasing them on day one of his administration, changing eligibility, changing benchmarks, just like what we talk about with SSI and SSDI. He can do this too by executive order. But now he has a mechanism to pay for it, a wealth tax bill. This is huge, great news. And on Friday and Saturday, I revealed to you that a Boston.com survey asked viewers and readers in the state of Massachusetts, do they support the bill introduced by their senator, Elizabeth Warren? 50% said yes. What a big day it is. And who's in the room? There's Cindy, there's Ashley, and there's Scott, and there's Newhart, and there is Bonnie and Helen Capone. How are you? There's Norman. And there is Sally and Sherry, and there is Sharon, there is Mona. Do I think there'll be gaps in the PUA? You know, in December I said yes, and I was wrong. Every state is different. Every state is different. I got to tell you, no one knows. No one knows except the state, because no one knows how fast these state computers are. They're not the same computers they had in last year, and in some cases, they're not the same computers they had in December. So in December, when the second stimulus package passed, I said, your unemployment's going to be 2 weeks late. It's going to be 3 weeks late. I did those videos. I was totally wrong. They weren't late. But what I'm saying to you is I don't want you to be dependent upon the day a check comes. We aren't tracking checks. We are cashing checks. I get very nervous when I see a comment on one of the videos earlier today where someone says, I need that $14 stimulus check, the third stimulus check right now. I've already spent it. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Or someone saying, I need to pay the rent. I'm about to be evicted. There's an eviction moratorium. Have you done the CDC eviction moratorium? If you don't know how to do it, have you reached out to the volunteers? Have you gotten free rent from the second stimulus? You want to be cashing checks, not tracking checks. Thank you, Alicia. Or no, Alice King for the dancing pair. If you have not gotten up and danced to some dancing pair, dance right now. Hit that subscribe button. This channel is going to help you get you financially stable in 2021. It's going to be a great year for you. You're going to have your feet on the ground. You're going to be cashing checks, not tracking checks. You're going to be high ahead of the ball. You're going to understand if the Treasury yields go to 1.6%, which they did this morning, what that means about your stimulus. Thank you, Connie. You're going to understand that if the Dow races up 600 points, is it doing that because of inflation or is it doing it because of stimulus excitement? You'll know absolutely all the information you will need to know to be financially in a better position this year than you were last year. And with that, it's 10:37. I will be back at 11 o'clock in about 30 minutes as Noontime LA kicks into gear. 2 hours of programming. Noontime at 11 o'clock has the top of the hour, the breaking developing news. At 11:30 is the Business Grant Show, Business Lunch. Then 12 is the continuation. And at 12:30 is the SSI Show. So much exciting news as Noontime kicks into gear. Thank you for joining me on Mornings LA. Hit that subscribe button on the way out and like this video. Stay with LA for more.